Well, hi everyone, I'm Judy Elliott and welcome to Dalton Plastic Surgery, and we're here today visiting with Dr. Reginald Sherrill. And Dr. Sherrill, it's a great pleasure to be out here today. Thanks for letting us bring the cameras out today.
Well, it's great to have you back, Judy. It's a beautiful day and it's a great time to talk about something that I'm very excited about.
Definitely so, and I hear the excitement around, and that's why we wanted to come out and talk to you about. Let's talk about what it is that is now happening at Dalton Plastic Surgery.
Well, we have just purchased the miraDry system. It is a method of taking care of underarm sweat. You know, there are a lot of people that just have tremendous problems. They ruin their clothes. They're just always looking like they're under stress because they have this big sweat stain, and this is going to help that dramatically. Prior to this, the only thing that we really had was Botox. Now, they talk about that at the Oscars, that some of the ladies will do that so they're not sweating, and that is very expensive. It usually runs close to $1,000 to do, and this is going to work for 3 to 4 months. It involves a lot of injections, and you know, it just hasn't been real popular because of that. And the miraDry system is a single treatment that will take care of most of the underarm sweat, but an additional advantage to that, it takes away odor, and it also takes away the hair. Now, prior to this, one of the most popular things we had was underarm hair treatment, I mean hair reduction, where we usually would have 5 to 6 treatments. People would come in and they would have their underarms treated with intense pulse light. It did work. But they had to come back 6 times. This is a single treatment, and when you compare it to the cost of Botox, it is unbelievably reasonable, and the advantages are just numerous. I was talking to a patient one time that said that she had gotten on a plane and somebody came and sat next to her, and she said the odor was just more than she could take, and it just started bothering her more and more. So after they got up in the air, she went to talk to the stewardess and said, is there possibly an empty seat that you can move me to? And so they moved her to another seat, and she got there and she was smelling the same thing. She finally realized it was her.
Oh no.
And she had simply forgot to put on her deodorant. And I'm sure all of us have had an occasion where we just forgot. We've got so many things to do in the morning and we just simply forget. And this is one method where you can cut down on the odor. You can be fresher. Now, this doesn't mean you can totally eliminate your deodorant and your antiperspirants, but for the most part, you can. This is between 80 and 90% effective with one treatment. There are some people that will come back and do another treatment if they have a little bit remaining, but it is phenomenal how well it works. What got me interested in this to begin with is that I had a patient that came to talk to me about Botox. And I had heard about the miraDry system. And I said, the Botox is so expensive. Why don't you give them a call? And the closest miraDry system that we had was down in Atlanta. And he was related to one of my assistants, and so he went down there and did it. And he called back and said, this is amazing. It works. And it hardly, there's very little discomfort with it whatsoever. And so I talked to the people at miraDry, and we're the only ones that have it. There's no one in Chattanooga that has it, nobody that has it in Dalton, and the closest place is down in Atlanta. And so we're expecting to have a lot of people coming in to see us because it can just save a lot of embarrassment. If you're out playing golf or baseball or soccer, something like that, you're not going to have those big streaks. Now, you're going to sweat from other places, but the underarms are one thing that people are so concerned about. And if you have a nice dress and you feel so good because you're so pretty, and then you see that big stain show up, it certainly takes away the mood.
Right. You know, I'm also thinking about, you know, like weddings, the bride, how embarrassing that be as well. But in, you know, for the mothers and everyone participating, sometimes it gets so stressful, and of course you begin to sweat, and then you've got that stain on your beautiful wedding dress, or you know, you don't want to be uncomfortable when you're in situations like that, or anytime.
And then there's more stress because you start to see
really
what's going on. But this treatment takes about an hour. we actually numb the underarm. You go, well, that has to hurt. Well, it's a very dilute solution of numbing medicine, and most people don't take anything in the way of sedation. We do have sedation available if somebody says, you know, I don't know if I can handle this. We do that, but what this machine does is it pulls by vacuum the contents of the axilla and pulls it into the machine, and then it treats it with high energy that will destroy both the oil glands, the sweat glands, and the hair. And we don't have any way of treating a lot of the lighter hairs, the white hairs, gray hairs, red hair. And this actually takes care of that because it is just so deep, it kills the follicle, everything there. And so it's pretty phenomenal. When we do the intense pulse light, when you consider that people are going to have to get off, they're going to have to come here 5 or 6 different times, and there's going to be about 30 to 45 minutes each time. This is one single treatment of 1 hour, and that will normally take care of it. It is just phenomenal how well it works. I'm very excited about it.
And it's called?
miraDry, and I'm planning on having it done in the near future myself. I don't have a huge sweat problem, but I have had a time that you just slip out of the house and you're doing something, you go, boy, I wonder who that is that's smelling, and then all of a sudden you discover it's it is I. So,
guess what? You know, also I do want to mention also for women, and I know this is for men too. It's not just a woman's treatment that it can be, but men do this as well.
Well, so far we've done more men than we have women.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. But I was also thinking, you know, women sometimes with silk blouses, silk tops. You know, sometimes it can stain, and you really can't get it out. So this treatment can be, I mean, it can be very effective on all that.
You know, most women don't want to have hair under their arms. Men usually do have hair, and so we tell them, you know, you're not going to have that many hairs under your arm, but you know, there's a lot of manscaping and other things that are done nowadays, and so they certainly seem to get by. But we've talked to people that say they have to change their shirt. For instance, in surgery, we have scrubs, and some of those folks are going back 4 times a day to change, because in between cases they change because they're just saturating that area under the arms.
Very, very interesting. Well, so have you started this already, the treatments?
Oh, we've been doing it, yes. We have been up and running for over a week now.
Okay.
But we have been very pleased. Several of the people in our office have done it, and we've had other people that have come in. There are some people that will also get infections under their arms. We're talking about you know, just abscesses that will occur. It's called hidradenitis, and it can be debilitating too. There are folks that we actually have to go in and take out all the hair-bearing areas under the arm because there's so many infections that occur. And I haven't tried this on one of those patients yet, but I'm expecting that this is going to do some amazing things for those particular people, because in the past, the surgery was 4 and 5 times more expensive than one single treatment of the miraDry.
Very good. Well, we're excited to hear and know more about that, and I'm sure as people begin to have the treatment, it's going to be amazing what results that they're going to find. So that's wonderful.
Well, we're also giving a discount through May, just getting ready for summer, be fresh for summer, and they'll be getting $250 off of the treatment.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's surprising me. You didn't tell me that before we started taping. So that's interesting. So that's great. So $250, and I suppose when they make their appointment here. So okay, great. Well, thank you. That's wonderful. Let's talk about some of the other things that's happening here at Dalton Plastic Surgery. You talked a little bit before we started taping about a new procedure. Yes.
We have oil therapy, which is a treatment to lift the skin, tighten the skin that is non-surgical. Now, being that I am surgically trained, I'm used to doing facelifts and brow lifts, eye tucks, and those results can be dramatic. And when you're talking about a non-surgical treatment, I don't care what it is not going to give the results that you're going to get with a surgical treatment. But there are people that are afraid of surgery, or they go, I don't have the time for surgery, and these are ways that we can treat those problems. The oil therapy can be done to treat the face, the neck, the décolleté. A lot of people start getting these little wrinkles and lines in their chest, and so this is a method that can be used to kind of rejuvenate the décolleté as well. And it is a non-surgical treatment. There are different prices according to how large an area you're going to be treating, but there is no downtime. I have had this done twice, and I may not be the best example because you go, well, he doesn't look all that great. But anyway, I have had it done several times myself, and saw patients that afternoon, or went about my normal business that afternoon. There is no downtime whatsoever other than while you're having it done. What it does is it uses ultrasound energy to create literally thousands of holes under the skin. It amazes me that you can actually do something that imparts the energy under the skin. There is no damage whatsoever to the skin, and yet it makes these holes. They fill in with collagen. It's not an immediate effect. In fact, after it's done, you're going to see absolutely nothing other than maybe a little bit of swelling, but it allows collagen to come in, and that collagen will build up, and it helps to add to the thickness of the skin and actually create some contraction.
Now, what is that? What would help around the
It
smile
can help
lines?
around the mouth. It can help on the face, and it can be done on the forehead to try to give a little bit of the lift to the eyebrows. Again, these are not going to compare with a surgical treatment, but they do have a niche for those that just don't have the time. And a lot of men just go, I don't have the time, you know, I've got to do stuff. Women are willing to take that time. If men had babies, they still wouldn't have babies. They just go, I don't have the time. I don't have 9 months, you know.
Exactly, exactly. Well, you know, there's so many different options when it comes to making yourself look and feel better.
Right.
And I know you have really, Dalton Plastic Surgery have a multitude of different types depending on what that individual wants and what they're trying to accomplish.
Right. One of the things we do, a lot of fillers, and one of the things that I learned, my big pearl, I've been doing injections for 20 plus years, and this last summer I had a doctor that came up from Atlanta and was introducing to me to what's called a saw-filled catheter, where if we were doing injections in the lip or in the nasolabial grooves through here, or these areas right through here, we'd have to use a needle and puncture the skin multiple times and deliver that filler. We can now put in just a little numbing medicine on each side of the cheek. We can get all the way across the lips. We can get all the way up into the nasolabial grooves. We can get down here. And most people rate the pain as a 1 or a 2 on a scale of 10. It's almost nothing. Where when we were doing the lips, every time you put the needle in, it hurt. Many times you would see a bruise appear immediately. I mean, you just see this big bump that occurred, and you knew, I've hit a vessel. Well, this is blunt tip, and so there is very little bruising. In fact, for the most of our patients don't even get bruising. And just to try it out, I said, do my lips. I just want to see what this is like. And being a man, we as men suffer so much more than women. And so I go, this was nothing.
Wow.
I didn't feel anything.
That's amazing. So whatever people are wanting to look and feel the best, Dalton Plastic Surgery certainly has the answer.
We're here for them, yes.
Well, thank you so much. Our time is up, and we appreciate you letting us come out and talk about the new miraDry. Thanks again.
Thank you, Judy.